That out your door now? Yeah. Where's that house at? We were watching with the trees. That it right there? Did it catch fire or just well, it was bouncing off the roof. I gotta move this way. The palm trees are just raining down on it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Hey, Craig, this is just east of Reseda, a couple blocks. Yeah, that palm tree just gonna hose those three houses. bad idea. I'm sorry, repeat that? I'm down at 3,500, right over the 118, just east of Reseda. I got you up there. Yeah. Stay with the helicopter. Well, he probably did drop. All right, ready. You're by the houses, right? Huh? All right. They're supposed to be up at 5,000. Is that 9 down at 3,500 now? Buzz? I don't think so. Is he coming around your side? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I had somebody go by me at about 3,500 feet here, just south of the 118. I don't know who it was. I'm monitoring 2292 in case it's one of the air attacks. You got that one where the roof was on fire too, right? What's that? What? Shed? Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Not too much longer. Huh? It's all right. Okay. I'm good. I mean, we'll go 20. Yes, I'm here. Right now we're over Granada Hills, right off of Reseda, to the east of Reseda by a couple blocks. We've been watching a couple houses here that have been threatened by the flames, and what's happening is these embers are just flying off palm trees, landing on the roofs of these houses and setting them on fire. You have one right here. The back end just caught fire. You can see the lattice work for the patio cover in the back is on fire. Now you have a large fire coming up from the side, and that was a shed that was on the side of this house right here that was burning, and then it finally got to the house, and the smoke has just gotten so thick down there. We were watching another house that had 3 palm trees around it, and it was just raining embers down on the roofs of the houses around there. In fact, let's see if this might be it here. And the roofs were just catching on fire. And see another house here just totally involved in fire. The roof completely burned away. But this palm tree was just raining down these palm fronds that were flaming, landing on the roofs of the houses around it and catching them on fire. But it just repeats itself out here. We're watching houses just start onto fire, and from these embers hitting on the roof. No fire around the base of the fire, but it's just all the stuff flying in the air down here. And like we were talking about being first overhead, we took off from Whiteman Airport to go out to the Ventura fire, and as we came off, I just noticed the fire on the side of the hill. Didn't seem like much, but we saw we'd head over there, and we got in behind it. We saw the fire in behind the houses, not really that big, maybe an acre at the most. Firefighters are all over it, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. And that fire actually came up the hill behind those houses, and that was over there on Saddleridge Road. That's where this all started, and it burned behind those houses, and then went up, and then over the houses, over Saddleridge Road, over the houses across the street, and landed in an open area, and then it just went downhill from there. The wind was at about 45 miles an hour, blew it all the way down the hill, got down to the 210 there, and worked its way down through 210 to the 5, and then we watched that one little spot that just jumped the 210, and a little spot just started circling and started growing and growing, and this is what we have here at 2:20 in the morning, well coming up on the 6 hours after this fire started. So this thing has just grown so fast. That's all due to the wind. The wind is what's been the real push on this. And then over here on this side of the hill, on this side of the 5, you have the Oat Mountain Hill that it's climbed up, and just these poor people up in the hills of Granada, up in this area, fire just racing through their neighborhood. The area is just surrounded by little green belts that run through here, and the natural drainages that they've left with brush in that, and that's what it's burning through, and then getting up into the houses and causing those ember casts to go out, ahead of the fire, half mile to a mile from that due to the wind, and just getting so far ahead of the firefighters, they just can't do anything about it. And we're just watching home after home now here in Granada Hills burn as this fire works its way through the neighborhood. You can see lines of fire right there just below the road, and then that hillside is on fire, and on either side of that hill, their homes. So Rick down in there along with Steve right in the middle of all this, just braving that smoke and fire, and then the residents down here sticking it out, trying to protect their property, but they need to get out. I mean, the firefighters are doing everything they can to stop this. As Steve said, your little garden hose isn't going to do much when you have a firefighter that can't stop it with his hose, 4-inch hose putting out hundreds of gallons a minute. It's just something that you just don't want to try to stick in battle. But right now, it's still a major fire working its way through towards Porter Ranch. As you said, the evacuations for Porter Ranch are now in effect, and this thing is not going to slow down because it still has a good wind behind it and a lot of vegetation to burn out ahead of it. So perfect recipe for a very, very dangerous fire here in the valley. So let me send it back down to you. Anybody out this way? I see where you're looking right here. But well, those big lines usually don't cause problems. Yes, I am. I'm here. Go ahead. Hi, Megan. Now we're just listening to the firefighting helicopters working the area. They're still struggling with very high winds down low. One just came in and basically said, I couldn't get in close enough to drop it. I did the best I could. We had about a 25 to 30 knot wind down there. And when you're talking about winds like that, up here where I'm at, not a problem, but down there on the ground where they're trying to get right on top of the fire, the turbulence is just tremendous from the wind, and then they're dealing with turbulence from the fire itself, the heat coming up off that fire. So these guys are doing everything they can to get in there and put water behind these houses and around these houses to knock down the fire that's working its way up behind the houses. But they're just struggling with this wind that's coming through here, and then just the amount of fire that's burning here, because there's just so much here. There's nothing they could do to get every one of them, and they're losing houses one after another, but they're protecting others. And so right now the firefighters and the helicopters doing what they can. Now the guys and girls down on the engines and doing the structure protection groups down here, they're right in the middle of it. I mean, they're getting right up in the fire and going between the houses with hose lines and fighting the fire as it approaches the houses and trying to knock down those embers and work on the eaves to get the fire out of the houses that with the embers that are cast off from here. Like I said, we watched that one palm tree just raining down burning palm fronds on the houses, 3 houses around it, and set 2 of them on fire. Unfortunately, there was no fire apparatus in that area to be able to get to those houses, but I'm sure there was other houses that were protected under the same situation. But this fire, the behavior of this fire has been so erratic, and it's moved so fast. When it made that one little jump over the 5 freeway, it made that one little spot of fire right below the Sunshine landfill there. I figured, well, okay, they got it there. They're going to get over, hit it quick. And then the next thing you know, this thing took off and was just racing away and got well over 30 acres in a big hurry. And once it gets up that big, it's almost impossible to stop it. And now, right now, as we work our way out to the west towards Porter Ranch, that's where we're looking right now. It's still a very active fire here, and it's burned up over the top of Oat Mountain and through the residential area here of Granada Hills up on the side of the hill. So nice. All right. Boom! Oh yeah, we got that. Thank you. Craig. Got it. Can run into debt. Oh, come on.